How do you deal with that as a family?
Well, we don't, in many respects, need to deal with it.
The moment Princess Catherine urgently summoned Princess Anne to her private residence without going through any assistance, the atmosphere within the British royal family changed. Everything began when Princess Catherine suspected that Queen Camilla was gradually expanding her influence over important decisions inside the palace. At first, Princess Anne was not quick to believe it. But when the two of them compared the series of changes that had occurred over the past several months, from schedules and protocols to Catherine's proposals being repeatedly set aside, the pieces gradually formed a concerning picture. At the same time, Camilla seemed to begin realizing that something was happening behind closed doors. Was it all just a coincidence, or was someone quietly shaping the way the royal family operated all this time? One evening about 2 weeks ago, Princess Anne's phone rang. She was sitting in her private office at her quiet home, still holding documents about an upcoming official trip. The number displayed was Princess Catherine's, the wife of Prince William. Anne frowned slightly, as Catherine rarely called at this hour, unless it was something urgent. She picked up the phone. Catherine's voice on the other end was no longer gentle and warm as usual. It was tense, rushed, mixed with deep anxiety that only those who had weathered many storms in the royal family would recognize immediately. "Princess Anne, I'm sorry for calling so suddenly. Can you come meet me right away? I've just discovered a serious issue related to internal operations. I don't want to discuss it over the phone, you understand." Anne was silent for a second. She clearly sensed the unusual tone in Catherine's voice. This young woman had faced many challenges regarding her health and public duties, but she rarely showed such panic. "Catherine, calm down. I'll come immediately. Don't tell anyone else before we meet." Anne replied, her voice firm, carrying the weight of decades of experience. Without a moment's hesitation, Princess Anne immediately canceled her entire schedule for the day. She refused to be accompanied by even her two closest assistants. Driving alone to the location, Catherine specified a private, secure house outside central London, where there were no palace eyes and ears. On the way, Anne gripped the steering wheel tightly, a gnawing concern rising in her heart. She thought about her brother, King Charles, who was facing fragile health. She thought about William and her grandchildren, who would inherit the future of the monarchy. If Catherine said serious, it was certainly no small matter. When Anne entered, Catherine was already waiting. Her face was slightly pale with worry, but her eyes still radiated strong determination. The two women needed no lengthy greetings. They sat down in a discreet room lit only by soft light from the window. Catherine got straight to the point. She clasped Anne's hand tightly, her voice trembling, but clear. "Over the past few months, I've noticed many strange changes in the royal family's decisions. They no longer follow the usual procedures. Many things seem to be giving advantages to Camilla. I suspect systematic interference. I need your help to verify this before reporting to King Charles. I don't want everything to fall apart." Anne listened attentively, her heart beating faster. As someone who had always been straightforward and put duty above all else, she clearly felt the growing unease. She recalled the times Camilla had expressed increasingly strong opinions in internal meetings. Small changes, but accumulating into a threat. "Catherine, I'm glad you trust me." Anne said, her voice warm but resolute. "I will delve deeper with you. We are not against anyone, but the royal family must be protected. The royal family is a system that operates transparently, not dominated by personal ambitions." Catherine breathed a sigh of relief, her eyes glistening with tears. "If we let everything continue, our positions will be shaken." Anne squeezed Catherine's hand, imparting strength. "We are the women of Windsor. We are stronger than people think. This meeting is the beginning. I promise I won't let Camilla control everything." The atmosphere in the room was heavy, but filled with determination. The two women, one experienced and resilient like Anne, One young but perceptive and patient like Catherine had officially allied. They did not rush into confrontation, but began planning carefully. Anne felt a mild indignation mixed with sacred responsibility. She did not want the royal family to fall into chaos, but she could not sit idly by as traditions were eroded. The meeting lasted longer than expected. They exchanged initial details, vague suspicions that now had clearer foundations. Stepping out of the meeting, Anne drove home in a contemplative state. She knew that from this moment, a silent struggle had begun. Not a dramatic public war, but a battle of reason, loyalty, and duty. Princess Anne, with her decisive nature, was ready to face it. And Catherine, though worried now, had a steadfast companion. Buckingham Palace, with its ancient walls, was witnessing a quiet but consequential shift. After the tense private meeting with Catherine, Princess Anne could not rest. She returned home in a state of deep contemplation. That night, the light in Anne's private office remained on for a long time. She spread out numerous document schedules, meeting minutes, and internal notes from the past several months on her desk. The quiet surroundings only highlighted the unease surging in her heart. Anne began reviewing each detail systematically. At first, everything seemed like minor normal adjustments in the royal family's operations. But the more she examined, the clearer a pattern became. Many changes in protocols, schedules, and task assignments were intentionally or not increasing Queen Camilla's influence. An important diplomatic meeting was rescheduled to give Camilla a more prominent role. Some charity events that were originally Catherine's domain were assigned to groups close to Camilla. Those changes were so small that few noticed, but when pieced together, they formed a distorted picture. "It can't be a coincidence," Anne muttered, her voice full of suspicion. She recalled Catherine's own proposals that she had once supported. They were postponed indefinitely without a satisfactory explanation from the palace. Once Catherine proposed strengthening public engagement activities for William and their young family to bolster the royal family's image. That proposal was ignored with vague reasons about other priorities. Similarly, many opinions from other long-standing members met the same fate. Anne felt a wave of disappointment mixed with indignation rising. As the daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, she had devoted her entire life to duty without demanding privileges. Now witnessing these changes, she worried for her brother Charles. The king's health was not what it used to be, and if external influences dominated the monarchy, risked losing its inherent balance. Charles deserves to be served by those truly loyal, not by personal ambitions. Anne thought silently, clenching the stack of documents tightly. She spent hours piecing together the events in chronological order. From the first changes months ago to recent decisions, everything gradually became clear. These were no longer isolated random adjustments. They seemed like a carefully prepared plan, step by step. Each time Camilla appeared in a larger event, each time her close associates were appointed to key positions, they were perfect pieces of the puzzle. The emotions in Anne's heart were extremely complex. She respected Camilla to some extent for standing by Charles, but her loyalty to the royal family and her mother's legacy made her unable to remain silent. She remembered Catherine's words in the meeting, the concern for William and the grandchildren's future. Anne understood that burden better than anyone. As someone always straightforward, she did not want the royal family to fall under the control of a small group. The next morning, Anne called Catherine. Her voice remained firm, but carried a concerning confirmation. "Catherine, I've reviewed everything. You are right. These changes are not normal. We need to meet again to discuss further. I will gather more information from reliable people." Catherine, on the other end, sighed with relief mixed with worry. "Princess Anne, I knew you would do it. We must protect the royal family and its legacy." Anne nodded, even though Catherine could not see. "We will do it step by step, not hastily, but without hesitation. This is our responsibility." In the following days, Anne continued her discreet investigation. She met privately with some longtime assistants listening without revealing her purpose. Each story she heard further reinforced her belief that this was a long-term plan. The initial suspicion had now become certainty. Anne felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, but at the same time, she was filled with determination. She was not fighting for personal power, but for the stability and honor of the royal family. Princess Anne's silent investigation had officially begun. From Catherine's urgent call, everything was gradually shifting. The walls of the palace seemed to tremble before the power of truth and loyalty. Anne knew well that the road ahead was not easy, but she and Catherine would not back down. Going back several months earlier, when King Charles began showing signs of unstable health, Queen Camilla gradually sensed deep unease. She worried that her position could waver as the king weakened. In the long nights at Clarence House, Camilla often tossed and turned thinking about the future. She did not want to become a queen consort in name only. She wanted to maintain real influence, wanted her voice to still be heard in all important decisions of the royal family. From then on, Camilla began implementing a quiet but sophisticated plan. She did not act openly or cause major disruptions. Instead, she skillfully expanded her network of close associates. Loyal advisors to her were placed in key positions in the scheduling and internal organization departments of the palace. Each change was disguised under the guise of, for the common good of their royal family, and to make things run smoother for Charles. An internal meeting was rescheduled to allow Camilla a more prominent role. A charity event originally under Catherine's responsibility was assigned to her group. Protocols for receiving foreign guests were slightly altered to allow Camilla to stand out more. All those adjustments were very small, very clever, so initially no one noticed. But over time, Camilla's influence spread wider. Her opinions appeared in more and more important decisions, from daily schedules to long-term strategies. Camilla often told her close associates in a persuasive tone, "We must support Charles with all our might. He is struggling. We need to make everything easier." Those words sounded reasonable, but behind them was personal fear. She knew the history of the royal family. Well, second wives often found it hard to maintain a solid position. She did not want to repeat the mistakes of the past. She believed this was the only way to protect her position and future. However, Camilla did not expect that Princess Catherine had noticed the unusual signs early on. With her perceptiveness and patience, Catherine had quietly observed all the changes. She did not rush to conclusions, but the small details accumulating made her worried. And when Catherine shared with Princess Anne, everything began to come to light. In Camilla's heart at this time was a complex mix of ambition and anxiety. She loved Charles in her own way, but at the same time feared losing the power she had worked so hard to build. Each time she heard that one of her proposals was approved, she felt satisfied. But deep down, she also knew that if discovered, everything could collapse. "I am doing the right thing," Camilla told herself, trying to convince her own mind. Those close to Camilla became increasingly active. They proactively suggested ideas and arranged schedules in ways beneficial to her. Gradually, some other royal family members began to feel uncomfortable, but no one dared speak out publicly. The atmosphere in the palace became more tense, though outwardly it maintained peace. Princess Anne, after reviewing the documents, became even more certain about what was happening. She realized this was not random, but a deliberate plan. Her concern for her brother and the entire monarchy made her unable to sit still. Anne understood that if Camilla continued to control things, the future of William and Catherine would be seriously affected. The story was gradually reaching its climax. From the initial small changes, Camilla's plot had become a real threat. Catherine and Anne knew they had to act wisely. A silent but fierce confrontation was forming. The British royal family, with its rich traditions, stood at a crossroads. Would balance be restored, or would power continue to be dominated by one hand? Camilla still did not know that the meeting between Anne and Catherine had set everything in motion. She remained confident in her plan, unaware that the protective wall was beginning to crack. At the same time, after Anne completed reviewing the documents and shared her suspicions, the two women decided not to stop there. They knew that relying only on documents and personal speculation was not convincing enough. They needed specific evidence and confirmations from multiple sources. Therefore, Catherine and Anne began the secret verification phase, extremely cautious to prevent rumors from spreading. They chose to meet privately, one by one, with long-serving members and assistants in the royal family, those they trusted absolutely. The meetings took place at private, safe locations, not on official schedules. No secretaries, no assistants, just the two royal women and the person they met. The first meeting was with a senior advisor who had served the royal family for over 2 decades. He looked at the two women, his voice solemn. "Your Royal Highnesses, I have also noticed that many recent schedule changes originate from the same group of advisors close to Queen Camilla. They always emphasize that these are her ideas and everything is approved very quickly." Catherine listened attentively, her eyes showing clear worry, but also full determination. "Can you tell us more details? Do the postponements of our previous proposals have any connection?" The advisor nodded. Indeed, many opinions from the Duke and Duchess of Wales were delayed without clear reasons. Meanwhile, initiatives from Queen Camilla's side were prioritized. Anne sat silently observing, but indignation simmered in her heart. She asked a few sharp questions, noting every detail. Each confirmation was like a perfect puzzle piece, fitting what she and Catherine had suspected. In the following days, they continued meeting a few more people. A longtime assistant to King Charles whispered hesitantly, "I don't want to cause trouble, but there is indeed a change. Camilla's group has an increasingly loud voice. Some important decisions even bypass full discussion with His Majesty." Catherine squeezed Anne's hand under the table during one meeting, drawing strength from each other. She said softly, "Anne, I didn't expect things to be this serious. What do we do now?" Anne tightly held her niece-in-law's hand, her voice resolute. "We will not confront directly. That would only cause division and scandal. We will compile everything into a detailed report with evidence. Let King Charles decide for himself. That is the right way." Each meeting brought strong emotions. Sometimes Catherine felt saddened seeing the royal family disrupted. Sometimes Anne was filled with determination, remembering her mother, Queen Elizabeth's teachings that duty must come first. They were not acting out of personal hatred, but out of the desire to protect their shared heritage. After many days of secretly gathering information, Catherine and Anne met again. Before them was a thick stack of documents with confirmations from multiple sources. Everything was clear. Most proposals that increased Camilla's influence originated from the same group of her close advisors. It was not coincidental, but a systematic pattern. "We have enough," Anne said, her voice relieved but still serious. "This report will present the facts most objectively. No embellishments, no accusations. Just what has happened." Catherine nodded, her eyes slightly red from fatigue, but full of hope. They knew the next step would be more difficult, presenting it to King Charles. But at least they had done something important, clarifying the truth from initial suspicions. The plot was gradually being exposed. Catherine's patience and caution, combined with Anne's experience and decisiveness, had created a solid alliance. Buckingham Palace, though still peaceful on the surface, was preparing for an important transformation. When rumors about reviewing some internal decisions began to spread in the palace, Queen Camilla quickly realized the situation was no longer under her control. She felt a surge of anxiety mixed with irritation. "We can't let everything fall apart now," Camilla thought silently, her voice defensive in private conversations with herself. She immediately convened her closest group of advisors for a closed meeting. The atmosphere in the room was heavy. Camilla sat in the chair of honor, trying to keep her voice calm but firm. You have all heard the rumors. Some old decisions are being reviewed. I want everyone to stay calm. All previous changes were only to help the royal family's work run more efficiently to best support His Majesty. There is nothing untoward. The associates looked at each other. Some nodded in agreement, but others showed hesitation. Camilla continued to emphasize, when anyone asks, just answer about your own part. Avoid adding more, avoid speculating. We don't want unnecessary disputes. This is the time for unity to protect the common interest. However, Camilla's cover-up strategy quickly encountered problems, as Catherine and Anne secretly verified accounts from many people did not fully match. One assistant said a schedule change was under direct orders from the Queen, while another said it was just a technical issue. These small inconsistencies gradually accumulated and revealed the abnormalities. Camilla became increasingly worried. She spent more time calling and meeting people privately, trying to align the stories. In a private conversation with a senior advisor, her voice trembled slightly. You must help me. We built all this together. Don't let everything collapse because of a few rumors. The advisor sighed. Your Majesty, I am loyal to you, but the truth is gradually coming to light. Many people are starting to question. Those words struck Camilla like a knife, leaving her stunned. She realized that the plan once thought perfect now had cracks. The fear of losing influence, of being sidelined as King Charles's health faltered, made her even more desperate. She still tried to convince herself, I did all this for Charles, for the royal family. Why don't they understand? In those tense days, Camilla tried to maintain a normal appearance. She still smiled in public events, still showed care for her husband. But inside, she was fiercely struggling with reality. Those who once loyally supported her now began to keep their distance, not wanting to get involved in the controversy. Princess Anne and Catherine, though not confronting directly, still received information about these cover-up efforts. Anne shook her head slightly, her voice full of regret as she spoke to Catherine over the phone. Camilla is trying to cover everything up, but the more she does, the more it shows. We must prepare a really solid report. The atmosphere in the palace was now extremely stifling. People whispered behind backs, eyes more wary. Camilla still tried to maintain control, but the abnormalities were too obvious to hide. Her plan, meticulously built over many months, now stood on the brink of complete collapse. She knew the decisive moment was approaching. The meeting with King Charles would be the turning point. And Camilla, full of ambition and fear, could no longer stop the flow of truth. The final climax finally arrived. In a private meeting at the palace, only King Charles, Princess Anne, Princess Catherine, and a few of the most trusted advisors were present. The atmosphere in the room was heavy tense to the point of suffocating. Anne and Catherine sat side by side, in front of them, a thick, meticulously prepared report. Catherine began presenting her voice calm but clear, full of responsibility. Your Majesty, Princess Anne and I have spent time thoroughly verifying. This is not an accusation, but the facts we have gathered. Many changes over the past period have increased Camilla's influence beyond the usual role of a queen. Anne added, her voice firm and sharp like her personality. There are confirmations from many sources. Decisions no longer follow standard procedures. Catherine is presenting this for you to review yourself for the benefit of the entire royal family. King Charles sat silently listening. The king's face showed clear fatigue mixed with surprise. He flipped through each page of the report, comparing it with what he knew. The silence was so complete that only the sound of turning pages could be heard. Charles occasionally paused, asking a few detailed questions. Anne and Catherine answered concisely, without adding personal emotions. After reviewing, Charles sighed deeply. He looked at the two women before him with a complex gaze. You two have done very well. I did not expect the situation to be this serious. The king said, his voice low but decisive. Camilla's influence in some internal affairs has exceeded the limits. I will immediately adjust the division of responsibilities." The decision was made clear. Camilla would retain her title as Queen Consort and her position by the king's side in public events. However, she would no longer participate deeply in planning and internal palace decisions. Instead, Catherine and Anne would be assigned to coordinate and support the king in many important tasks, ensuring balance and adherence to tradition. Upon hearing the announcement, Camilla stood silently. She tried to maintain a calm exterior, but everyone could see the deep disappointment in her eyes. "I understand," she said only briefly, her voice hoarse before leaving the meeting. In Camilla's heart at this moment was pain and regret. She had tried so hard, but in the end could not maintain control as desired. After the meeting, Anne and Catherine stayed a while with the king. Charles looked at them, his voice warmer. "I know this is not easy, but transparency and balance are necessary." There were no cheers of victory, no harsh criticisms. Everything took place in an atmosphere of responsibility and respect. Princess Anne and Catherine were not people seeking power, but women ready to stand up to protect the heritage when needed. In the days that followed, the palace gradually returned to its familiar rhythm. Camilla still appeared beside King Charles in major events, but her internal role had been clearly limited. Catherine and Anne began taking on more responsibilities, bringing a new breeze of balance and transparency. The story of the secret meeting between Princess Anne and Catherine is not just a chapter in modern royal family history. It is proof of the power of loyalty, patience, and duty. The British royal family once again proves that despite many waves and winds, tradition and duty remain the most solid foundation. If you were Princess Anne, would you immediately believe Catherine's suspicions and agree to secretly verify the matter with her, or would you demand clearer evidence before taking action? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy.